Today is Wednesday.
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
I didn't know they let dogs run in the fun run. Did you see that? That was kind of cute.
That's awesome. Who says dogs can't run?
No one.
And today we've got some quiet weather to start, and of course air quality, biggest news today, and it is slowly improving.
Well,
it's still going to be a nuisance though. Let's take a look at what's going on outside right now. We got clear skies, dry conditions to start your day today. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s. It's going to be a quiet morning. However, as we head into this afternoon, there's potential for some storm activity to fire up. We'll explain that coming up in a few minutes. But first, the air quality. We're in the unhealthy for some category. The air is improving a little bit. Still, you do want to limit excessive time outdoors today, but I think compared to the past few days, you're going to notice some improvement in that air quality. The radar is dry this morning. Again, it starts out dry. This afternoon, we warm up into the low to mid 80s, and there's potential for a few pop-up thunderstorms later on this evening, 4 to 6 p.m. Those of you, especially in the Adirondacks yesterday near Speculator, you probably witnessed one of those pop-up storms, and there's a better shot for them today. We'll track those, plus the storm chances over the next few days and where that wildfire smoke is headed coming up in that full forecast. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And as Eric mentioned, the haze from the Canadian wildfires continues to hang over central New York. And when pollution levels are elevated, the state health department recommends you limit your outdoor activity. It's especially important for people with respiratory problems like asthma. And AAA is warning the wildfire haze could reduce visibility, but it can also make its way into your vehicles. And as Eric has been mentioning, you'll want to keep your windows closed and set your vents to recirculate. Look at your car's manual to see what that button looks like.
Most people don't know. You can replace your cabin air filter. There's an air filter that captures small particles, and it will definitely improve your air quality coming through the vents, especially with what's going on today. So try to utilize that.
AAA says anyone flying out should be aware the smoke can also cause flight delays.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Time now is 5:12, and as you head out today, like the past few days, it's beginning dry, a little hazy outside though, with some areas of patchy fog. A look at some area cameras this morning. We first take a look at our tower cam. You can clearly see the city from up here on Smith Hill and Deerfield, but there's some fog trying to form in the Oneonta area from our vantage point on top of Hartwick College. And as we take a look right here on the visibility map, some pockets you can see here, lowered visibility in parts of the southern valleys, 4 miles in Hamilton, 9 miles in Rome, but normal as you head up north towards Saranac Lake with 10-mile visibility up there. Our traffic tracker, as always, relatively quiet, green across the board, and another dry morning here in central New York today. And as we head throughout the day today, that haze and dry weather this morning turns to a few isolated to scattered thunderstorms. So just a heads up, keep that umbrella handy. Make sure you have your Storm Tracker 2 app handy, because that'll let you know of nearby downpours and lightning strikes. Great tool to have there when you're out and about. But again, we'll track those storms, plus the latest on that trend for wildfire smoke coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. When an infant gets sick, a disease that comes from a tick isn't.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. We are tracking still lingering wildfire smoke over our area. The latest on the air quality numbers right now. Let's take a look at that map here. Much of New York State and the Great Lakes still impacted by that Canadian wildfire smoke. The air quality has improved a little bit, especially for the North Country. You can see the yellow starting to pop up there. The AQI for Utica, or Air Quality Index, is just hovering below 150. Now, there's still some pockets down south in the southern valleys which still are in the 150 plus range. So some of you might still be in alert mode today, but anything below 150, 120, 110, that's when it's more just light pollution in the atmosphere. It's not really that high of an impact. But we're not done with it for the near future. We still have some lingering smoke. It's going to be curling around from the south a little bit. My thoughts are by Friday, this really starts to decrease and conditions will improve. We'll keep a close eye on the latest with the smoke forecast, but for now, that appears to be the case. Downtown Utica, live view outside this morning. It's a quiet start to your day. Temperature is 65 degrees. And we look at the radar, still looking at dry conditions early today, but that's expected to change this afternoon. So you notice here, we've got some of the south wind kicking in. Now, when we look at the different levels of the atmosphere, there's a south flow moving in. And normally, when things are quiet, completely quiet, there's no storms expected. But when you have the right forcing, or basically topographical lift, all that air near the surface gets forced upwards, it'll tap into that instability, and it'll fire up a few thunderstorms. That's the case today. There's no front today, tomorrow, or Friday, but with that south wind, any winds that get kicked up into the mountains are going to fire up a few thunderstorms. So when it comes to the MoCast, yes, you've got nice weather today, Thursday and Friday, but just make sure you're aware of a pop-up thunderstorm. As you can see here, these are the chances heading into the end of the work week. Let's take a look here in the Skycast. Here's what I mean. Ready? By the early afternoon, instability kicks in, and those storms begin to fire up. There's really no rhyme or reason for them. They're not going to be they're not going to be organized at all. There's no timing for them. They'll fire up, drop a downpour, and then weaken. Same thing tomorrow. Again, mainly higher elevations. Those of you in the Adirondacks have the best shot for seeing some of these storms to fire up. On Friday, not so much. Still highest elevations mainly. Then that flow switches, things dry up, and the weekend's looking very warm and mostly dry. Temperatures in the upper 80s, so we're still in the midst of summertime here, lots of sun. And looking beyond this week, I'm just looking at overall trends. It's not a verifiable forecast, but it is looking like we have a pretty dry pattern setting in yet again. Maybe a few storms here and there, but unlike early spring or even late spring, quite the opposite this month.
Yeah, we're getting much nicer weather.
Yes.
Eric, thanks. The time right now is 5:22. Still morning once again, and thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. It is a rather nice morning out there this morning, but will things be changing? Meteorologist Eric Gage over in the Weather Center, and the words I heard earlier, pop-up thunderstorms, right?
Yeah, that's right. And unlike last week, where things were entirely dry, this week a few storms could fire up. I'll explain why here in a second. Let's first take a look at what's going on outside early today. It's a quiet start. Temperatures in the upper 50s to as high as the mid-60s early today. Some pockets, though, in the Adirondacks in the mid-40s. So the latest on air quality this morning, it is a little bit better. But still, we got that nuisance wildfire smoke outside today. So just don't put too much exertion on yourself today. Limit strenuous activities. But for the most part, it's not that toxic to stay outside. This is not anything like what we saw in 2023, where the air was definitely toxic and you shouldn't go outside. But either way, the radar right now is entirely dry the next 12 hours. Mainly quiet until the early to mid-afternoon. That's when a few pop-up thunderstorms could fire up. We'll track those when they arrive, why they're arriving, and then, of course, the latest on that wildfire smoke coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away. President Trump.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Our photo of the day today takes us to Cooperstown. First time in quite a little bit, we went down into the southern valleys, and this one right here, a great shot of sunflowers galore. No name submitted with this photo right here, but look at this amazing shot of all the sunflowers. It's a great scene to have. I've seen a few fields recently, and one of my favorite flowers here. So shout out to those of you watching from Cooperstown this morning. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to the link right there in the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. So again, when it comes to temperatures, we're not done with any summertime heat in the near future. Look at this right here, a steady trend upward from the low 80s for the next few days, up into the upper 80s by this weekend, and by early next week, pushing potentially the low 90s. So if you're wondering, is summer over? Well, that's not the case. We'll track those temperatures, storm chances later on today, as well as the latest on that wildfire smoke coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The so-called dirty...
Most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today, we're still tracking wildfire smoke. However, the air quality will be improving a little bit. Let's take a look right here at the air quality map. AQI, or air quality index, a little bit below 150 in Utica. Still a little higher as you head down south, but a lot better as you head up into the Adirondacks. So today, no alert mode in effect, but we're still dealing with that haze today. It's going to be lingering for the next few days, as you can see here. That south wind kicks in, but still all that wildfire smoke is trapped near the surface. Our thoughts are by middle of the day Friday, that's going to really push its way north, and we're going to see some clearing slowly move in. But again, it's a slow process. There's high pressure in place. All that air is sinking, and that's preventing that air from really getting mixed out of our area. Downtown Utica, hazy sky this morning, temperature of 65 degrees. And a look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are looking entirely quiet early today. We zoom out the radar and satellite. A few things to mention. Yes, it's dry right now, but a south wind with some south flows in the atmosphere are going to fire up a few thunderstorms due to what's called topographical lift. Basically, all that air near the surface gets forced upwards due to higher terrain, nowhere for that air to go but up, and it'll connect that instability, and there could be a few storms that fire up because of it. I'll show the map here in a second, but either way, you still got great weather to do some yard work today, tomorrow, and Friday. Just a heads up, there could be a sudden thunderstorm popping up between, again, today through Friday. We do dry up, though, as we head to Saturday. So on our Skycast today, a dry start. Watch these storms fire up. They are not organized. There's no front moving through. They just fire up, as you can see here, almost as if a pot is boiling on the stove. Then by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, things are quiet to start, and then the same thing by tomorrow afternoon. A few storms are going to fire up, mainly in the higher elevations. They could fire up some more storms heading in the valleys, but they will be initiated in the higher elevations. So those of you in the Adirondacks, Catskills, foothills, including Tug Hill, just a heads up that tomorrow you have the best chance for storms across the area, while the Mohawk Valley, or at least lower elevations, have a whole lot less of a chance. Then by Saturday, things quiet down, but it's still going to be very warm and, I would say, mainly sunny here. Temperatures in the upper 80s. Summertime still going on for early August as this mainly dry stretch of weather continues, and we were approaching the low 90s by next Monday. So the heat still is on, Gary.
Yeah, nice to see sunshine at least partly each day. Eric, thanks. The Syracuse Mets will look a little
The news with Gary Liberatore and meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us here on this Wednesday morning. I'm Gary Liberatore.
And I'm Storm Tracker 2 meteorologist Eric Gage.
And what a perfect morning out there so far. It's nice and crisp. It feels refreshing.
Refreshing, it's pleasant, it's dry. It's a thing here, too. And yeah, so far, air quality improving a little bit. We'll take it day by day. In fact, here's a look at what's going on outside right now. Yes, as Gary mentioned, very comfortable out right now. We're in the 60s with sunshine, although somewhat hazy sunshine, if you call it that, with overall pretty quiet conditions today. When it comes to air quality, we are in the unhealthy for some category right here. So a little bit better than yesterday, but still, it's nuisance smoke in the atmosphere. We'll closely track how things shape up with that wildfire smoke as we head into this afternoon and for the next few days. But for now, the main impact today, isolated to scattered pop-up thunderstorms. Now on the radar right now, it's entirely dry, and I'm just loving these early morning inversions, Gary. We're seeing the birds take off from their nests again right here. Here we go. Ready? There it is. So I'm just enjoying this feature here on the radar. But either way, we head into this afternoon. Temperatures climb into the mid-80s. We have those pop-up storm chances in the evening. I'll explain who has the best chance of seeing them, why they form, and how long this wildfire smoke is going to linger in our area coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And as Eric mentioned, the haze from the Canadian wildfires continues to hang over central New York. And when pollution levels are elevated like this, the State Health Department recommends you limit your outdoor activity. It's especially important for people with respiratory problems like asthma. And AAA is warning the wildfire haze could reduce visibility, but it can also make its way into your vehicles. You'll want to keep your windows closed and set your vents to recirculate. You can look at your car's manual to see what the button looks like.
Most people don't know. You can replace your cabin air filter. There's an air filter that captures small particles, and it will definitely improve your air quality coming through the vents, especially with what's going on today. So try to utilize that.
AAA says anyone flying out should be aware that the smoke can also cause flight delays. Violent crime in the U.S.
This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back. Time now 6:12, and today, like the past few days, we begin dry, still dealing with that haze from wildfire smoke. In fact, we'll look at how it's shaping up the day today. In fact, we start out with a look at our area cameras this morning. Still a faint haze. You can see from our tower cam as well as from our Nexus Center camera in downtown Utica. Foggy and hazy in Oneonta early today. We take a live look down there as well. And some of that haze or even some fog forming in Cooperstown. Visibility in the southern valleys reduced to 3 miles, at least reported in Hamilton. Still overall almost perfect visibility in Rome right now and in the North Country. Mainly heading south is where that fog is trying its best to form. Traffic tracker, green across the area today. No accidents to report of. And as you head outside this morning, temperatures start out in the 50s and 60s. A dry morning, but keep that umbrella handy. As we head into this afternoon, there could be an isolated to scattered thunderstorm popping up here and there. We'll track what's causing them, who's most likely to see those storms, plus the latest on how long this smoke's going to stick around coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. When an infant gets sick,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today, we're still keeping a close eye on that haze, that smoke in the atmosphere, as well as some rain chances. We'll get to those in a second, but first let's talk about that air quality. The latest AQI numbers for Utica and Rome sit in the low 120s, which is lower than yesterday, which was above 150. In fact, the only pockets of central New York above 150 appear to be in the hills of the southern valleys closer to Oneonta. So when it comes to air quality today, it is improving a little bit, but we're not out of the woods with haze just yet. That smoke is still going to stick around for the next couple of days. It's going to lessen its impact, especially as we get more of that south wind coming in. It's going to slowly push out some of that lingering smoke over our area. Still, it's a hazy sky out there in downtown Utica to start your day today. Temperature of 64 degrees with sunshine. And it's expected to be a dry morning today. But things are going to change as we head into this afternoon. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 live radar. Things are dry early today. And as we zoom out with this South wind moving in right here. Notice on the radar, you got a couple of these downpours here and there. This is the type of setup that's going to be arriving this afternoon that could fire up a few isolated thunderstorms, especially in those higher elevations. I'll explain why here in a second. But still, today through Friday, you can still do some yard work. But overall, though, watch out for a sudden shower or downpour over the next couple of days. Smokecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. As you can see here, here are those rain chances. We do dry out, though, as we head into Saturday. So what's causing this rainfall chance today? It's sunny. We got high pressure in place. What gives? Well, here's the case in meteorology where you have the south wind in the lower levels moving in. And as that wind moves north, it collides with the hills, and there's nowhere for that wind to go, so it goes up. And when it hits that instability in the atmosphere, it fires up a few thunderstorms, like what we can see here today, mainly in the higher elevations. Adirondacks, Catskills, Tug Hill, Mohawk Valley mainly dry. However, a few of those storms that do fire up in the hilltops could push their way north and impact parts of the valleys. But when it comes to rainfall chances today through Friday, much of that rainfall activity we focused in the higher elevations primarily, and then a lot less as you head into, say, the Mohawk Valley. So Utica, Rome, not the highest chance for storms, for example, compared to Speculator, Old Forge. Those of you up north have a better shot for some storms. So we look ahead beyond Friday. This weekend's looking mainly quiet, sunny, temperatures in the 80s. As we head into next week, we're going to be pushing 90 degrees with lots of sunshine as well. And the heat and humidity still beginning to move in with overall summertime not ending just yet. We got lots of pleasant conditions to look ahead to as we head into this coming weekend.
Well, let's hope early August we got a lot more of it.
Yes.
And be sure to like us on Facebook. And thank you for joining us for this half hour. I'm Gary Libator. It is a very nice morning out there. Very crisp, no humidity. Eric is over in the Weather Center. And Eric, we couldn't ask for better, at least this morning, right?
Yeah, it's a dry start, Gary. Temperatures in the 50s and 60s, but this afternoon, there could be a few thunderstorms we'll keep a close eye on. Let's take a look at what's going on out there today. And yes, Gary, you're right. It's a beautiful morning out there. We are seeing lots of sunshine across the region. However, the sun is a little hazy out there. We still have some wildfire smoke we're dealing with. We are seeing a slight improvement in air quality, though. We are in the unhealthy for some categories, so a little better than the past few days, but still, that wildfire smoke is going to linger, at least for the short term. We'll track that coming up shortly. But again, the radar right now is entirely dry. We had throughout the day today, although it starts out dry, keep that umbrella handy. We head into this evening, or this afternoon, and there's an isolated storm chance throughout the day. We'll track those storm chances, who's most likely to see those storms, plus how long this smoke lingers in our area coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. And don't forget, the Storm Tracker 2 forecast is never more than 10 minutes away each morning. President Trump.
Of News Channel 2 is brought to you by Holland Farms Bakery and Deli. This live look of downtown Cooperstown is brought to you by the Leatherstocking Credit Union.
Welcome back to Sunrise on this Wednesday morning. First, our photo of the day today takes us to Cooperstown, and a great shot right here of some sunflowers. Look at this massive field right here. Sunflowers galore. So many sunflowers in the vicinity here. And I've passed several different fields of these, and they look to be healthy and in full bloom. One of my favorite flowers, too, to see in the middle of summertime. If you have a photo like this you'd like to share with us, send it to the link right there in the top of your screen, WKTV.com/weather/pics. Again, shout out to Cooperstown, those of you watching from Cooperstown this morning. So today's temperature peaks in the low to mid 80s, and we have plenty of warm weather ahead. We go from the low to mid 80s today through Thursday and into Friday, and then by the coming weekend we're in the upper 80s, pushing 91 degrees by Monday of next week. So We still have plenty of summertime heat on the way. We'll track that heat, plus, of course, most importantly, the haze and the storm chances this afternoon coming up in a few minutes. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The so-called dirty soda trend.
New York's most dependable weather team. Here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good morning, everybody. Today, our main focus being, of course, air quality. There are still a few storms we'll be tracking this afternoon, but again, let's take a look at what's going on with that wildfire smoke. The forecasted air quality today, we're in the unhealthy for sensitive groups category, which is similar to yesterday. We were on the fringe of the red area, which is unhealthy. The AQI, Air Quality Index for Utica, is down to around the 120 range. Is that around 150, 160 yesterday, which is enough to warrant an alert day. Today, it's still a nuisance. You're going to notice the haze outside, but the air quality is going to slowly improve over the next few days. And the key word, slowly. There's not going to be a sudden clearing of the smoke. It's going to take a little bit for all that to clear out. In fact, you can see here, even the early morning Friday, we still have some lingering smoke here in the area from that high pressure, which is allowing that smoke to sink near the ground. Plenty of haze out there in downtown Utica. Temperature is 64 degrees. Start your day. Not too bad weather-wise outside. It's comfortable out there. And the radar showing dry conditions. However, this will not be the case all day long. I'll tell you why here. We've got the south wind moving in. What this is doing is it's going to be forcing some of this wind to, or at least air, to rise as it hits some of these higher elevations. When it does that, it's going to tap into some instability in the atmosphere, and that could fire up a few scattered thunderstorms. So, although you are looking at dry weather for the next couple of days, mostly dry weather, a few isolated scattered storms can't be ruled out. So if you're doing yard work for the next few days, just remain weather aware as a storm could fire up suddenly. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. Here are those rain chances. You can see here, still scattered, isolated, then drying out by Saturday. But let's show you why, or show you where some of these storms do fire up. So we start out quiet today. Watch what happens as that south wind moves in and it gets forced upward. Basically, looks like the atmosphere is boiling. You got some of those storms firing up at random. These are not organized, so we can't tell exactly where they'll form, but the most likely spots will be in the Catskills, Adirondacks, Tug Hill, higher elevations in Madison County. Then by tomorrow, same story. However, as they fire up, a few of them could initiate or basically cause a domino effect, a few more downpours pushing into the Mohawk Valley. Again, not very likely. It would be maybe a few minutes, if that, of a storm. And then Friday afternoon, same story, higher elevations, biggest risk there. So, next 7 days, still storm chances Wednesday and Thursday, mainly the higher elevations. By the weekend, it's looking mainly dry and sunny, and it's looking very warm. It's in the upper 80s, pushing 91 by Monday next week. So, cool weather, Gary. Not time yet to start thinking of Halloween. It's still plenty of summertime left.
Well, you love that Halloween, don't you? You bring it up 2 days in a row.
I had my Halloween-themed tie yesterday.
Yeah, that's for sure. Well, the NJ here is now meteorologist Eric Gage joining us. And Eric, luckily the air seems clearer today.
Yeah, a little bit better compared to yesterday. We're still going to be dealing with some lingering smoke, but again, the good news is it is slowly improving. Let's take a look at the radar right now, though, because we actually are tracking something other than wildfire smoke today. A few isolated downpours, some rumbles of thunder, especially in the hilltops of Madison County. As I told you guys this morning, hilltops would be the catalyst for these storms firing up today due to topographical lift, all that air getting forced upward with that south wind today. So you can see those downpours here in Madison County, other spots, Catskills, maybe the foothills of Otsego County, and then the Adirondacks and Tug Hill, the next few spots. Now, again, those are the catalyst for the storms to form. As they develop, the downdrafts of them could fire up some more storms heading into, say, lower elevations, but the more and more lower you go, the lower of a chance you have for a storm today. 80 degrees in Rome with plenty of sun, or at least faded sunshine today. That's been the case for the past few days, but as you mentioned earlier, air quality is slowly improving. It's still going to be a bit noticeable for the next few days, and we'll talk about that wildfire smoke update coming up in a few minutes. But again, today it's in the 80s, a chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm. We have a same situation for tomorrow. We'll track that, plus again, how the weekend's looking when it comes to rainfall. If we have another nice weekend on tap, straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. The former Marcy Corral.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Still, we're tracking that haze outside today. In fact, you just saw on the Cavity Tower camera. We're actually going to take a look right back at it again here, because as you can see, there's a lot of haze out there. Now, today's story, not so much the wildfire smoke. Air quality improving slightly. The actual story today going to be some pop-up showers and thunderstorms. We zoom into Madison County right here. You can see some of those very small cells. Look at this. Between Sangerfield and Paris, you're going to drive through a downpour, and it's going to dry out by the time you hit the town of Paris itself. So that goes to show you just how small some of these downpours are here. And in fact, I'm going to go back to the bigger picture here, because there's a couple trying to fire up in Hamilton County as well. So we'll keep a close eye on the radar. Again, biggest, or at least highest risk areas for storms to fire up. Higher elevations in Madison County, Catskills, foothills in Otsego County, Adirondacks, and Tug Hill. Mohawk Valley, a bit less to form. All driven in by the south wind. As you can see, that slowly arriving. That is going to force that wind upwards, tap into instability, and produce those sudden downpours. These are garden variety, by the way. There's no severe risk today. Maybe some heavy rain, lightning, maybe some wind gusts inside there too, but so far the risk today, not really that high. Latest on air quality, slowly improving, but still we have lingering smoke. So again, our air quality index sits at the unhealthy for some category, right around 100. And we look at the next few days, you can see the good news here, that smoke slowly exiting, but again, without any major forcing of any fronts. That smoke's going to take a while to really finally exit our area. If we had a massive cold front come through, that would push away all that smoke in an instant. But still, though, chances of rain for the next few days, isolated to scattered, hit or miss. So you can go out and do some yard work the next few days. Just make sure you're weather aware of the potential for a storm to fire up. So in our Skycast today, here's what I mean. It basically looks like the pot of water over us is boiling with the pop-up storms here and there. There's no rhyme to reason. There's no organized setup. They're just firing up in those higher elevations and then doing a domino effect in the lower elevations. Same thing tomorrow. Biggest risk zones, Adirondacks, and then heading into Friday, same story. Adirondacks being the big zone there for the massive amount of rainfall, and then the rain ends. Your 7-day forecast, once these storms depart, things quiet down, sunshine moves in Saturday and Sunday. You got a great weekend on tap. It's going to be a hot one, though. You're going to want to cool yourself down a little bit, or maybe spend some quality time by the pool. Enjoy the summer weather while we have it. Upper 80s, low 90s, Saturday through Monday, Gary. So we got some nice weather, warm weather on tap, and we just got to get through some of the smoke this week. That should be clearing up by the time we hit Saturday, Sunday.
Almost 2 more months of summer. How's that?
Yeah, we'll keep summer going as long as we want.
Eric, thanks. Well, from flooding to fires impacting the air, nearly every corner of the country is now dealing with something. NBC's Emily Ikeda is in Brooklyn this noon with a look at all of it. Emily?
Hey there. Well, it's just been an unrelenting week of smoky skies. 10 states are facing air quality alerts yet again today, and we have seen some improvement, but you can see how that haze just continues to hang over the New York City skyline as hundreds of wildfires burn and expand from California to Canada, forcing highways to shut down, evacuations, and sending thick plumes of smoke hundreds of miles away across the continent. In California, officials say there have been more than 4,400 wildfires in in the first half of this year. That's actually up 14% compared to the same time period in last year. Meantime, in the south, a very different weather woe. The region has just been waterlogged. Parts of the Carolinas seeing more than 5 inches of rain and strong wind gusts just yesterday alone. It's turned roadways into more like riverways and flooded homes as well. Back here in the New York City area, health experts are urging people to be on the lookout for symptoms of poor or unhealthy air quality. They say some of the first signs of that, a scratchy throat and watery eyes. Back to you.
NBC's Emily Ikeda reporting from Brooklyn today. Coming up, the latest meteorologist Eric Gage joining us now. And Eric, as we mentioned earlier, the air quality definitely a bit better today than the past couple.
Yeah, improved a little bit. And so while the alert day is over when it comes to the air quality, now our focus is on rainfall totals. Now, yeah, it's been dry the past few days, but let's take a look at the projected rainfall. And I want to show you guys this map here. And you're probably looking at this going, oh, wow, there's some significant numbers, while some other spots, not a drop of rain. This is a model forecast, which means it's not our official one. So just because it says 1.45 inches of rain in Utica doesn't mean you're going to get exactly hit with that amount. But what this whole map shows you is that there are going to be pockets of rainfall here and there that dump between half an inch to as high as 2 inches. In the meantime, a few miles away, you got none. And that's the case on what this pattern is going to be driving in our area today. In the meantime, look at the radar. Here's how they're shaping up so far. As expected, northern, at least the hilltops of Madison and Oneida County to the south, those where those storms are starting to fire up, as well as parts of Hamilton County, heading into Saratoga County out there. Catskills trying to form. But as you can see here, some of these downpours firing up rather quickly. Town of Paris, seeing that thunderstorm, it's going to start moving a bit to the east momentarily. So in between some of these downpours, it's sunny out, temperature 80 degrees. Air quality, as we mentioned again, it's improved a little bit. Still, it's a bit hazy out there today, but again, we head into this afternoon, a chance of a sudden downpour or thunderstorm. Following that, we've got more rain chances the next couple of days. Similar to today, we'll track that, plus how long this wildfire smoke lasts in our area straight ahead. Gary?
Eric, thanks. In just a little over 2 weeks, the great
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's meteorologist Eric Gage.
Good afternoon. Lots of haze out there today, but the good news is the air quality is improving a little bit. It's going to be a day-by-day situation here. No major fronts pushing out all this smoke, so it's going to take a while. But here we are. Live look from our Cavi Tower camera with the eye over the Mohawk Valley. You can see that haze encompassing much of the area. But wildfire smoke is not the main weather phenomena we're focusing on today. That would fall to some pop-up thunderstorms, and we have a few of them. In fact, our first one in Lewis County just starting to fire up right near the Montague radar there. But let's zoom in here. We have a thunderstorm just in East Syracuse, north of Sangerfield and Paris. That downpour has been going on for pretty much the last, I would say, close to 45 minutes or so. And we have a couple of them firing up here in, again, mainly the higher elevations of Madison County. And as we head throughout the afternoon, we're going to see more of them fire up in the Catskills, Adirondacks, Tug Hill, mainly the higher elevations due to that topographical forcing taking place. All that air near the surface gets forced upward to that terrain. Now, again, we are still tracking that wildfire smoke. Air quality today is not perfect. It's still at the unhealthy for sensitive groups category. So just limit strenuous activity outside. It's not toxic if you're outside for a couple of hours, but just play precautiously, I guess. If you have sensitivity to pollutants in the atmosphere, asthma, COPD, breathing issues, just limit your time outdoors and close your windows. So the next few days, still that wildfire smoke is going to continue, but it's going to improve slowly. Just give it a few days, it'll slowly improve. But in the meantime, we're still tracking a few downpours here and there. So although the weather looks quiet for any yard work outside, you still want to make sure you're weather aware. Have the Storm Tracker 2 app. You get notified of nearby downpours and lightning strikes to make sure you're well aware of a approaching thunderstorm. MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. So today's Skycast, you can see the storms firing up. I mentioned earlier today, almost looks as if there's a pot of boiling water and it's the bubbles popping up off the water here. That's the case today. They're disorganized. There's no rhyme to reason for them forming other than they're going to form initially in the higher elevations and potentially fire up in the lower elevations as the storms continue on. Tomorrow, same story. A few pop-up thunderstorms and showers primarily in the higher elevations. Then Friday, initially dry, a few pop-up storms again, and then things dry up as we head into the evening and overnight. Saturday and Sunday looking mainly quiet. Temperatures in the upper 80s looking pretty nice for this coming weekend. So yes, we got to get through some wildfire smoke and some downpours here and there, but it pays off at least as we head into the weekend. Summertime feeling in the air, humidity, 80s, sunshine, great pool weather. Spend time outside, enjoy the summertime while we still have it.
Pray for some rain today, right?
Oh yeah, hopefully get some beneficial rain. A lot of us definitely need the rain.
Yeah. Eric, thanks. Well, a former
meteorologist Bill Curtis. Some of us saw significant rain, and some saw nothing today.
Yeah, a couple of pop-up showers and storms, very little wind in the environment, which means the storms that are out there just aren't moving very much. And so it's kind of like feast and famine here. We have a couple of strong storms to the north, actually one just west of Old Forge. This one's potent. It's not a big one, but this is very slowly lifting to the north, and this will come very close to Old Forge. We also have more storms in Lewis County. Again, downpours will be taking place throughout the course of this evening in spots. So some good news here with the air quality. It's not great today. It's not going to be great tomorrow, but it does look like it's going to get better starting Friday, and hopefully it won't return anytime soon. 81 degrees, the current temperature. We are starting to notice a little bit more humidity today. Dew points up to 64. This evening, an isolated shower or storm, temperatures in the 70s. We're tracking much warmer weather. In fact, it's going to feel hot here as we head into the weekend and beyond. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Oneida County's Department of
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We are keeping an eye on the radar. There are a couple of pop-up thunderstorms that have developed this afternoon. The coverage of these is fairly limited, but where it is happening, it is raining really hard. We're taking a look at the North Country. This is close to Old Forge, so southern Lewis County, northern Herkimer County, and this is a 1-hour loop. You can see these storms developing, and the concern this evening is just the fact that there's very little wind in the atmosphere, which means these storms sit in one spot and produce very heavy rainfall. This storm is just to the west of Old Forge. Some lightning strikes with this. This other group is closer to Tug Hill. Again, very slowly moving to the north. We will see a few pop-up thunderstorms through this evening and tonight, and a very small chance tomorrow, too. And a reminder, you can always get weather alerts on your phone by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. This is more than just weather alerts. This will also let you know if heavy rain is nearby or if there's any lightning strikes that are nearby as well. Live look at downtown Utica, 81 degrees, hazy skies. We are continuing to deal with wildfire smoke affecting the air quality. The good news is that there are signs that the smoke will start to thin out. I think we have to be patient here. About another 36 hours worth of air quality, the air quality index around 100. So this numbers will start to go down. So things will only get better going forward. I think it's going to be Friday is when you're going to start to notice the difference. The winds turn into the east. And so the winds moving from the east will move the smoke out of our area very slowly heading into the weekend. Looking to cut the lawn over the next couple of days, pick your day. The weather should be fine, although there is a very small chance of a pop-up thunderstorm tomorrow. Our MoCast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor. 81 degrees in Dolgeville, 72 in Deansboro, 81 in Westernville, Inlet 73, across the Southern Valleys, Cooperstown 78, Oneonta with 73. Again, a couple of pop-up showers and thunderstorms today. There's high pressure in control, but there's also a very weak disturbance that's settling in, and we could see a couple of isolated storms this evening and tomorrow. Storm Tracker 2 Skycast overnight lows drop down into the 60s tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies in the morning. The chance of a pop-up shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. I think the better chance is going to be in the Adirondacks. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks dry. Overnight lows in the 60s. Friday, the weather looks nice. Partly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy and isolated storm. Low of 63. Tomorrow, hazy. A few scattered storms, especially in the higher terrain. 82. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It's looking hot heading into the weekend. Mostly sunny skies Saturday and Sunday. Again, I think the air quality will gradually improve as we head into the weekend. But it turns hot Monday. Could be our 8th 90-degree day of the season. Showers, thunderstorms return Tuesday. Still hot weather. That's about 5 to 10 degrees above average for this point in August.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Well, Professor.
Just in time for the schools to reopen. Bill.
So we're talking about thunder and lightning. We had a couple of scattered storms in the area today. And did you know you can tell how far away a lightning strike is just based on the number of seconds between the flash of lightning and the rumble of thunder? A lot of people think it's for every second it's 1 mile. Believe it or not, that's not quite true. We call this the 5-second rule in meteorology. For every 5 seconds, it's 1 mile away. So if you count to 5, you see a flash of lightning, you count to 5 before you hear thunder. It's 1 mile away. You count to 10, it's 2 miles away. If it's less than 5 seconds, that means that lightning strike is within 1 mile. Sound moves much, much slower than light. Live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We are tracking a couple of rumbles of thunder up towards Old Forge, northern Herkimer County, southern Lewis County. Could see an isolated storm this evening and tomorrow. Temperatures are going to be warm. We'll be above average here over the next several days. In fact, we'll make a run towards 90 degrees looking ahead to Monday. Pretty decent evening across central New York. We're still dealing with poor air quality, but it's a little bit better than yesterday. Temperatures will be in the 70s. If you're taking the dog out for a walk, should be okay for the most part. Nina from the town of Frankfort is tonight's featured dog. If you want to be part of this, head to Facebook. Search for Skycast WKTV. This is brought to you by Nissan. Kristen, back to you.
That picture is precious. The fun has...
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a few isolated storms across central New York, and this is primarily along higher terrain. Let's take a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. We're zooming into the North Country, Old Forge, southern, well, now central Lewis County, seeing some thunderstorms. And I put this in a 1-hour loop. And I want to show you how little things have been changing in the atmosphere today. This has been one of the problems with some of these storms is they've created a lot of rain in a very localized area because there's very little wind to move things today. Storms are moving right over Old Forge now, thunder and lightning. There could be some wind gusts with the downdraft of the storm. So just because there's not a lot of wind carrying these storms doesn't mean they don't produce wind at all. It's just at the surface. By the way, 37 lightning strikes in this area in the past half hour. Reminder, you could always get weather information, how close lightning is to your location, how close heavy rain is as well by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Live look at downtown Utica, 81 degrees. The air quality continues to be an issue today. The levels are about the same. They're a little bit lower than yesterday. Air quality index hovering about 100 to 125. So those that are sensitive to this are going to want to continue to limit their time outdoors, including elderly and young children. Now, I do have some good news. It's not in the short term. I think we're going to be dealing with more air quality issues tomorrow, about the same as today. But by Friday, winds coming from the east should start to push this smoke out of our area. And we should notice a difference by Friday morning. It's not going to be completely gone, but the air quality should improve. It should be a little bit easier to breathe, a little bit less noticeable, a little bit less hazy as we get into Friday. And hopefully that trend continues into the weekend. But again, until those fires get under control in central northern Canada, this may not be going away here over the next couple of weeks. Looking to cut the lawn over the next couple of days, pick your day. The weather should be pretty decent. Only a slight chance of a storm tomorrow. Whitesboro 82 degrees. Norway Donna with 80. Stewart and Cooperstown also checking in with 80 degrees. Bigger picture shows high pressure and control of our weather. There are a few isolated storms, very weak disturbance in the atmosphere today and tomorrow. Could promote a pop-up storm. Tonight, an isolated shower, a rubble of thunder possible, overnight lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, scattered storms in the afternoon. Best chance will be in the Adirondacks. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. The weather looks dry for Friday. Partly cloudy tonight, an isolated storm, 63. Hazy tomorrow, scattered storms, especially in the higher terrain, 82. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast gets hot heading into the weekend. Temperatures in the upper 80s Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny skies. 91 Monday, 89 Tuesday, showers, thunderstorms. It remains warm with highs in the upper 80s on Wednesday. We'll be right back.
Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Tracking a few pop-up thunderstorms across parts of our area this evening. This is a live look at the Yorkville Battery Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. I'm watching the North Country. Lightning strikes, heavy rain, Old Forge, Lionsdale, Central Lewis County, Northern Herkimer County, 41 lightning strikes in this area. These storms are not moving very much, which means they're producing locally heavy rainfall. They should stay out of the Mohawk Valley, but we can't rule out a couple more developing here this evening as well as tomorrow. The air quality gets a little bit better tomorrow. I think we'll see some noticeable improvements by Friday. 81 degrees, sunny skies at Griffiths and Rome. The humidity is up. Temperatures will remain in the 70s this evening. The chance of an isolated storm as we head into tonight as well as tomorrow. We've got some hot weather on the way as we head into the weekend. I'm going to look at the forecast coming up. Chris, back to you.
New at 6 after an audit by the comptroller.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're tracking a few isolated thunderstorms in parts of central New York, especially north of the Mohawk Valley into the Adirondacks. And the storms are moving very slowly. They're producing locally heavy rain, some thunder, some lightning. This is right over Old Forge, gradually drifting to the north and east. There could be some localized flooding in this area. This includes Route 28 north of, say, Forestport, also heading out towards Lowville, between Boonville and Lowville, heading up 12, some locally heavy rainfall. We'll keep an eye on the radar this evening. We could see another pop-up shower or storm this evening as well as tonight. Another chance tomorrow, with just a very weak disturbance in the atmosphere. We can get notifications if lightning is nearby or if heavy rain is moving in by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Live look at downtown Utica. 81 degrees, has been dry in the city. We've had some rain in spots this afternoon, but again, for the most part, things have been few and far between. We still have that haze out there this evening. The good news is there's some improvements in sight. Not tomorrow. The haze is about the same. Air quality is about the same. Air quality index at about 100 tomorrow, so it is down slightly. It's Friday that things start to change. The smoke looks to lift to the north. And notice that it starts to thin out. We go from medium amounts of haze to lighter amounts of haze. It's not completely gone Friday, but you should notice an improvement. There should be less haze, and it should be a lot less noticeable. Skywatchers checking in. Whitesboro 82, Barneveld 79, Inlet 75 degrees, Jeff and Mohawk 77, Worcester checking in with 77. We do have high pressure and control of our weather. It's going to bring some heat as it departs to the east, but until it moves out, we have a very weak disturbance in place that could create a few pop-up showers and storms. There's a chance tonight we could have an isolated shower or storm, overnight lows in the mid-60s. Tomorrow, partly sunny skies, slight chance of a thunderstorm, primarily in higher terrain. Temperatures will be in the low 80s. Tomorrow night, the weather looks to dry out, overnight lows in the 60s. Friday looks nice, should be dry Friday afternoon, highs in the low 80s. Partly cloudy tonight, an isolated storm, 63. Tomorrow, hazy, scattered storm in the afternoon, especially in the higher terrain, 82. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. The weather continues to warm up. We're looking at highs in the upper 80s Saturday and Sunday, second week in a row without any rainfall. Looking at hot temperatures Monday and Tuesday, we're close to 90. We've hit 90 degrees 7 times already this year. We might be tacking on 1, maybe 2 more over the next 7 days.
All right, Bill, thank you.
Thank you. Still to come, let's look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, and we continue to talk about the air quality for the next couple of days, or at least better than yesterday. So does this mean we're peaking and coming back
it's
down?
more like very, very, very slow improvements, like baby steps here. We will make a very small improvement tomorrow, but the biggest step is going to be Friday.
Okay.
That's when things are going to start to make a difference. So we're going to be continuing to see not great air quality tomorrow. The air quality index will be hovering around 100. It was into the low hundreds today. So again, it's going to be a little bit better. If you're sensitive to this, you're going to continue to notice the effects. You're going to continue to see the haze. Of course, this is all from wildfire smoke in Canada. There's been some new fires today in Saskatchewan, so this is going to continue to be an issue here. The winds, though, will change direction, and this is going to blow the smoke out of the region as we head into the weekend. Reminder, you can use the air conditioner tonight. If you have a window unit or central air, you're fine. It's not going to draw in any of the outside smoke. A couple of scattered showers this evening, especially north of the Mohawk Valley. We're tracking temperatures that remain on the warmer side, 72 degrees, dew point 65. It is a bit humid. Tonight, temperatures will drop down into the low 60s. We are tracking slow improvements in the air quality. You'll look at the forecast that's coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Following breaking news tonight,
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look at downtown Utica. Temperatures are in the low 70s. It's still hazy outside. Air quality remains an issue for about the next 24 hours. More on that in just a second. I wanted to show you what's going on tonight up north. We're getting a couple of rumbles of thunder, some lightning strikes. If you're looking to the north, you might see a couple of flashes from this. If you live in Old Forge, you're probably close enough to hear some of this thunder, as well as Speculator for sure. These are remaining semi-stationary, gradually drifting to the north. These are non-severe, but they are producing some locally heavy rain. There's not a lot of wind in the atmosphere to push these storms along, so we are tracking some isolated downpours here. We'll see more of this again tomorrow. Reminder, you can always download our Storm Tracker 2 weather app. Today, the app went off a couple of times because the storms developed, at least for where we are, at our location at the studio, just to the north of the studio. So folks here that had the app were getting notifications about proximity to lightning. A reminder, air quality, still an issue. It's going to be the same tomorrow, but guess what? Things start to change. The wind direction changes and it starts to carry the smoke to the north, and it starts to disperse as we head into Friday. I think that's the day where you're going to start to notice the change. In the morning, it still might be a bit hazy, but we're hoping that things get a little bit better by later in the day. 7 days at or above 90 so far at Griffiths and Rome. You know why I'm showing you that statistic, right? We have a chance of adding to that here as we head into early next week. High pressure continues to stay in control of our weather. Again, a very slight chance of a storm tonight. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. Slight chance of a storm tomorrow, primarily along higher terrain. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy skies. The weather looks dry. Overnight lows drop down into the 60s. Friday, partly sunny skies. Chance of a shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. Partly cloudy, an isolated storm tonight, low of 63. Tomorrow, hazy, scattered storms. Temperatures in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. It gets hot heading into the weekend. Mostly sunny skies. Another nice weekend. A back-to-back dry and sunny weekends. How about that? Right in the middle of summer, too. 91 on Monday. Hazy, hot, and humid. Could get close to 90 again, but I think we'll fall just shy Tuesday and Wednesday. Widespread storms possible Tuesday afternoon. We'll be right back.
Now for a first look at the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis, and we're still talking about the wildfire smoke. A little better than yesterday, but we're not going to see too much more relief for a few more days yet, right?
It's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Still talking about this. It's been a whole week. Although the good news is that it's been slowly dropping down. So even though it's not moving out as quickly as we'd like, it is getting better. Air quality tomorrow unhealthy for some, but a little bit less unhealthy compared to today. The good news is I do finally see relief. I think by Friday, the winds are going to carry enough of this out of our area. It's not going to completely go away, but I think by Friday, the air quality will be a lot better region-wide. And again, just a reminder, the air quality issues are coming from wildfire smoke in Canada. There's even more forests that have been caught on fire today in Saskatchewan. So unfortunately, there's going to be more smoke put into the atmosphere. But again, it's all based on the wind direction. Does this carry this into central New York, or does this push away? At least for the short term, this is going to push out of central New York. Live look at the airfield battery, Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. A few scattered showers and rumbles of thunder are taking place in the southern Adirondacks this evening. We will see the chance for a storm tomorrow, too. Mostly clear at Griffith and Rome, 70 degrees. Tonight, you can use the air conditioner. Overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. We are tracking, again, some improving air quality along with a hot weekend ahead. Look at the forecast coming up. Jason, back to you.
Bill, thank you. Following breaking news.
The WKTV Tower Cam is brought to you by the Central Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. From Central New York's most dependable weather team, here's Chief Meteorologist Bill Curtis.
Good evening. We're taking a live look in downtown Utica. Temperature of 70 degrees. Air quality still a bit of a problem this evening. It's not too bad. The levels have been gradually going down. And that's going to be the case tomorrow. But we're going to see a big step in a better direction on Friday. Live look at the airfield battery and Storm Tracker 2 Doppler radar. There are some showers and a few rumbles of thunder to track, especially across the southern Adirondacks this evening. Even a few lightning strikes. If you're looking north from the Mohawk Valley, you might be able to see a few flashes of lightning to the north. These are remaining generally stationary. These are in the process of, again, very, very slowly moving to the north. And they are producing some locally heavy rainfall. Reminder, you can always get our weather information by downloading our Storm Tracker 2 app. Tonight, some of those storms developed just north of the stations. We actually had notifications go off on our phone that lightning was very close to WKTV. So that's very helpful, especially if you're going to be outdoors, getting that early heads up that something's on the way. Again, air quality tomorrow, not too bad. Air quality index around 100. Again, the smoke just kind of lingering here in central New York. Looking ahead, the wind direction is going to carry this smoke to the north and start to dissipate this Friday, finally. And we should notice a big change Friday morning. It's not going to completely go away, but it will get a lot better. 7 days with temperatures at or above 90 so far at Griffith and Rome. Guess what? Might be adding to this here by early next week. Bigger picture shows high pressure and control. A couple of scattered showers today. We'll see a few more of those tomorrow, a few pop-up thunderstorms. Tonight, overnight lows drop down into the mid-60s. An isolated storm is possible overnight. A brief shower, brief rumble of thunder tomorrow. Temperatures climb into the low 80s. Tomorrow night, overnight lows drop down into the low 60s. Friday, partly sunny skies, generally dry, highs in the low 80s. Partly cloudy tonight, an isolated storm, 63. Tomorrow, scattered storms in the afternoon, hazy, highs in the low 80s. Storm Tracker 2 7-day forecast. Partly sunny on Friday, 83. Hot heading into the weekend, dry, mostly sunny, 87 Saturday, 88 Sunday, 91 Monday. Showers, thunderstorms return Tuesday. Very warm stretch of weather heading into the end of the early part of next week.
All right, looking good. We got a quick update. Technology issue that stopped all the United Airlines stuff, mainline flights out of departure airports earlier tonight has been resolved. So now they're going to start to kickstart all those flights again. Bill, thank you. Still to come.